The inner voice in your head controls what you do. It either sets you up for failure or success. Most people think that it just is what it is and they have no control over it. That's where they're wrong. You might not realize, but you might have a negative mindset. You might be telling yourself things that are simply not true. I can't run. I'm not a runner. I can't help myself. It's just the way I am. Or I'm too dumb to learn. These stories we tell ourselves dictate more than just our actions, but our life completely. In this video, I'll give you the tools to not only review what that inner voice is saying, but how to influence it to help your life, directions, goals, and more. And by the end of the video, you'll know how to stop the inner voice from holding you back and start using it to your advantage. The reason that I know all this is because I've experienced the pain that a negative mindset entails. For myself, I fell into negative coping strategies to deal with my physical and mental pain. I was diagnosed with an autoimmune condition called rheumatoid arthritis a day before my 21st birthday. And with that, doctors said that there was a chance that I could possibly never walk again. With this, I felt like a victim. I asked the question, why me? I felt like God or the spirit or whoever you believe in was taking it out on me. It only got worse when I got my dream job in London, which is when I was recovering at the same time. This caused me to burn out and fall deeper into the darkness. That's when I realized that my biggest obstacle wasn't outside of me, but inside my head. As you can see, I was trying to cope with all this in all the possible negative ways you can think of a 21-year-old could cope with it. Drinking, partying, socializing, not prioritizing his health. Not who I am anymore. Since putting myself first, I've prioritized my physical movement, my health through cold water, sunshine, and everything in between. And through that, I've started helping other people. Now I've changed that, focused on what my foundations are needed, focused on healing myself physically and mentally, and now working with people. We've helped over 1,000 people deal with their stress, habits, life direction, and more. Follow these steps too. You will be able to improve your life tenfold. Before we continue, if you haven't watched the previous videos, please do. That's from part 1, foundations. We work on the foundations of the building blocks of life. Part 2 was our goals and goal setting, how to actually achieve the goals that you set out. Part 3, which is today, is our control and our mindsets. These all work hand in hand with each other. So if you haven't watched part 1, part 2, please go back and do so, because part 3 makes so much more sense once you have that solid understanding. You can click up in the top area up here in the top right corner. You're able to watch one of the videos. But today what we're going over is our control and mindset. So with our control and our mindset, you'll not only understand how mindset plays a role in how you show up for yourself and the world, but you'll have a deeper understanding of not only yourself, but that annoying voice in the back of your head holding you back. With all this, it took me a better part of 5 years to fully understand, implement, and action what I've learned. So I hope that you find this information useful. And if you're struggling and needing assistance, comment below, reach out to me directly, or click the first link in the description. It will look something like this, where we can work together in a capacity for 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days, where you're able to work through any challenges that you're facing. I'm also so confident with this that there's a 100% money back guarantee. So you either see change or you don't pay a single thing. That is how confident I am. We've had clients come through and they've sung praises before. And for me, the priority is seeing change come from you. Somebody like Mel, who has said that the 30-day journey gave me real, practical ways to handle my stress and move towards a bigger goal. Or Jack saying, Hire has helped me so much improving my mental well-being. I highly recommend them to anybody who wants to change their lifestyle. You can follow all this for free, but if you're needing that extra hand, welcome to reach out. This is a face of a man who is terrified to be standing on the edge of a bridge. It is hilarious. The t-shirt speaks wonders. Seek discomfort. Yes theory, if you've ever seen them. But this was my bungee jump that I did. And if you haven't done a bungee jump before, I really, really invite you to do so. For me, this was such a mental activity that I highly recommend it to everybody. When my friend asked if I wanted to do a bungee jump, my first gut reaction was, fuck no. And I sat with that for a second and realized that was my internal voice telling me these things, keeping me safe. So I decided that I'd give it a go. I didn't really think about the bungee jump until about an hour beforehand. I was driving there and the voice in my head started playing up. It started questioning everything that got me to this point. It started questioning if I was going to survive. I started feeling the wind and the vertigo and the other physical sensations of being on the bridge. And my heart started to race. My mind started to wander. I started to question if I should even bother doing it. Could I escape now without having to pay? The internal voice had so much control over me. I had to keep reminding myself that I am safe. and I'm not going to die. My reality was not reality. My voice in my head wasn't telling me the truth. It was holding me back. And for me, this whole activity was such an amazing mental activity on how that internal voice can influence you physically. I was sweating. My heart was racing. It was extremely nerve-wracking if you've ever done that. And I highly suggest you all give it a try. So that internal voice that you're hearing in your mind is your ego speaking. It's your pride, your gut, trying to convince you not to break out of the mold. It stopped me from prioritizing myself, speaking my truth, and held me back. It does keep us safe, but it also keeps us stuck in place, never taking chances for the things that we want. It's the same voice which tells you not to rock the boat. Don't ask her out. Don't ask for that promotion. Don't quit that job. And we learn this from a young age, not to rock the boat. Don't say that to someone because you might offend them. Say thank you. Tell a white lie. Then all of a sudden, you're not speaking your mind or your truth, and that hurts. For me, I found myself climbing the ladder. And if you haven't heard of this term before, let me explain. From one piece of information, we assume, and our brain and our body climb the ladder to falsehood. We do this all the time without even realizing it. In relationships, at work, and even in our health. For example, she didn't text me back. Moves into, well, she doesn't like me. To, she's probably having dinner with another man. To, you're broken. No one will ever love you. To, you will be forever alone. From one piece of information, you just climb and climb and climb. Another one would be, I'll ask for a raise. Your voice goes, no, you'll get yelled at. Then you'll get fired. Then you won't have any money and no one will love you and you'll die alone. It just keeps climbing that ladder. It convinces you that the devil you know, which is being underpaid, is not worth the risk, getting the raise, keeping you grounded in the gray area, stuck in limbo. You've probably had a version of this play out in your own life. And if you have, welcome to leave it in the comments below. So with all this information, we have to ask these questions. So what do we do? How do we fix this voice? And how do we stop it from taking over our lives, consuming everything we want to do and believe in? If you've already watched part 1, the foundations, it leads beautifully into part 2, which is the goal setting, now into this point, into part 3, which is our mindset and control. So this will require a little bit of energy. It's going to be an activity for control. So get a piece of paper out. I recommend having an A4 piece or A3 piece of paper. Take your time with this, pause the video and continue once you are ready. So this control activity is to separate what we can influence from what we cannot and redirect the energy into things that are more effective. So step 1, I'd like you to draw something similar to this. So 2 big circles with an overlap in the middle. You can label this within our control or can control, can't change or cannot control, and can influence. Step 2, I want you to list all of your worries. Write down current worries, stresses, what ifs, everything in between. I want you to be honest, brutally honest. Big and small concerns, things that maybe you haven't told anybody. At the end of the day, you need to be truthful with yourself. List everything down. Step 3 is we're sorting them into each of the 2 circles with the overlap for things that might be minimal. For example, I can cook my wife a healthy dinner, but that doesn't mean I can influence her whole diet. So going through, putting these into the circles, we obviously want them to be rather large. Can control, can't change, and can influence. Most of them should fall in between the can control and can't change aspects. A lot of them are in here. Just take some more time to think if you have actual control over it. For example, you might be like, well, I can influence my job promotion by working harder. But then if you think about it, that amount of influence probably doesn't equate for more than what is out of your control. The same thing for when we understand that these things that we can't control are out of our control, we need to make sure that we focus on that principle. All this energy gets wasted on things that we have no control over. We could literally put in every ounce of energy, every waking hour of our day, and nothing will come from that. Ask yourself, which of these can actually do something about today? How would your day feel if you focus on different things? And step 5, action. Pick one small, practical step from the circle of control to act on immediately. Spend time reflecting, journaling, talking to somebody about what's in your control but still worries you and why. If you're worrying about something, your brain is trying to tell you that you need to resolve it, you need to fix it. If it's within your control, it's best to action something to make sure that voice gets pushed away. But when it's not within your control, we need to take steps to understand why it's not in your control and remind your brain why it isn't. Through all these processes, we need to be able to put ourselves in the best position to handle whatever life throws at us. We've started with our foundations, moved towards our goals after understanding where we need to go, and now we proceed to move through control and mindset. They all work together hand in hand. But you need to give yourself the best chance. You need to cut out the distractions, the quick fixes, the vaping, the drinking, the one-night stands, the endless scrolling, the late-night escapes. They give you a moment of relief, but over time, they slowly tear you down. You need to let your brain decompress. Just allow it to be, to think, to ponder. What is it saying? What is it complaining about? What is it scared about? Go for a walk without your phone. Speak your mind, speak your truth. The voice holds the answer on how to fix it. You need to listen to it. Address its concerns. Treat it like a younger version of yourself, because in a way, it actually is. It's your past, your experiences, your rights, your wrongs. Your voice is a makeup of who you surround yourself. For myself, I struggled to sleep night after night. I kept remembering how I handled a breakup childishly 3 years ago. She cheated on me. So one night, I sent a text message. It wasn't for a conversation, but it was to ease that voice in my mind. And as soon as I pressed send, my shoulders felt lighter. Sometimes it's not about fixing the past, but giving your mind closure so it can let go. With this, dealing with stress, dealing with that internal voice, dealing with the things that make you upset and angry, the only ways for you to move stress out of your life are a few key stages. You need to give it space to think, process. Let your brain come back to normality. Stress is a fight or flight response. You need it to come back to rest and digest. You need to give it time. We are terrible at associating how long things take, so disregard the time that it takes. Reflection. If we don't reflect, we can't use these as lessons to stop it from causing us stress. If something bad happens to us, we need to make sure that we learn from that. Don't shove it under the carpet. Don't completely disregard it. If there is a lesson to learn from this, we need to move forward from it. Yes, there are parameters for everything. Some things might be too hard to process. And persistence. The aim is for slow growth, 1% better every day. There is no silver bullet, and over time, things will change. And a reduction. Remove yourself from the places, people, and things that cause you the most amount of stress. You could be making life so much harder than it needs to be. Moving through this, you need to be speaking to a loved one, family, friend, or co-worker. Work with somebody like me who can take the information, process it for you, and give you another way to look at it. Speak to the person you might have issues with. Journal, meditate, breath work. A lot of people find that they can find the same levels of meditation through hiking, surfing, or walking. For me, the biggest advice I have is try it. You never know what could possibly work unless you try the thing. Not once, not twice, a handful of times. You don't learn how to get rid of anything. You just learn how to better cope with it and what you've been through. For myself, I don't wish anyone to go through the physical and mental pain that I experienced with rheumatoid arthritis, but I don't regret going through it because of those physical and mental scars. Those have made me who I am. And that's why this work matters, because it doesn't just change your thoughts, it changes your life. And the process that you find is that you have this, oh, I've got a good grip on myself. Then an oh fuck, something happens that makes you question everything that's changed and happened. You respond in a way of moving back or coping. You fall back into a way that might not be the most healthy. And then you reflect upon the oh fuck moment and you respond to it accordingly. And then you process it and you go, oh, I think I've got a better grip on me. This is an endless cycle that you need to pay attention to because it is vitally important to process all this and to know that it's not going to be quick or easy or something that's glamorous, but there's beauty within the pain, there's beauty within the suffering, and it does take time. So to recap, the voice in your head controls your actions and it keeps you stuck. It keeps you from growing. Yes, it keeps you safe, but it also keeps you in place. When you take a single piece of information, you climb the ladder. Your voice in your head tells you stories, again, to keep you safe, to keep you protected. It's a protection mechanism which doesn't help in this day and age. We did the circles of control activity. We removed all the worries out of our head, separated them into clear groups, and then we showed how to process the worries we have and focus on the things we have control over, because we can waste so much time and energy focusing on the things that we don't have control over. We focused on the core fundamentals of how to deal with stress, focusing on time, space, reflection, and incorporating that into our life. Because with this, we need to make sure we can deal with it further by talking to our loved ones, working with someone like myself, or journaling, meditating, or finding good habits that you can interchange. Because when you put all of this together, you start taking back your power. You stop letting that internal voice run the show, and instead you begin to direct it towards the outcomes you want in life. So from now on, whenever you hear that internal voice speaking and it's saying something negative, know for one, that isn't you, it's not your voice, and it's not making anything better. Take a step back, reflect upon what it's saying, listen to it, pay attention, and go, do I have control over this or do I not? And if you have control over it, focus on actionable steps to process it, to work through it. And if you haven't done part 1, 2, or I guess now part 3, I highly suggest going back and working through those. And if you're wanting some more time to reflect and ponder, I highly suggest commenting below. List maybe 3 problems that you're struggling with, and if you've realized they were out of your control or within your control, and what you're going to do to fix them. Because you never know what wisdom you can bestow upon somebody else who might be reading it. And again, if you're struggling with all these processes and you're needing that help, please click the link below, comment, reach out to me directly. I am here to help. It does come with a complete 100% money back guarantee because I want this to work for you. It's individual, it's hard, and I really just at the end of the day wish somebody was there to help me along the journey. But it took 5 years and I'm grateful for the journey, but I really wish I could have squeezed that into something a little bit shorter. And if you're ready to move on to part 4, you can click the video on the screen here. We'll describe what our habits are, how to solve them, how to work through them, and how to use them to set us up for the best chance possible. So click the link on the screen. I hope you had an enjoyable time with me for the last half an hour or so. But I just want to take a second to say that you're doing an amazing job putting yourself first, trying to better yourself. I think for so many people, taking the first step and recognizing it is difficult, but taking that second step and actually actioning something is even harder, just as the electric power tools play. So I hope you found benefit in this and see you on habits.